My name is Gavin Evans, and today I'm going to talk about Westworld Season 1. This is not a review, this is just me gathering my thoughts and talking out loud, because this was a show that was very hit or miss for me. Now I only watched Season 1 and I heard incredible things about it, and for the first little bit, I just didn't get why people love this show so much. And then I start to enjoy this show more in the second half of it, and then by the end, I just don't know what I think of it. Like, this is a show that by the end of the season, you understand everything it's going for, and it definitely recontextualizes the entire season. That in order for me to fully process everything I just watched, I would have to watch it all over again. And I just don't have the time to do that. Now, some of the things that keep you in the dark with that was a bit questionable to me at first was, what are the characters' motivations? What are they trying to do? For so much of the season, I'm just like, so what exactly is Ed Harris trying to do? And the direction they take that character by the end, I'm just like, wait, what? Really? And if I rewatch it, the way I view that character would 100% change. Now let's talk about some things that I loved from the start, beginning with the music by Ramin Djawadi. I think he gives this show an amazing score. I think the opening credits are great, and all the performances are really great, especially Jeffrey Wright, Anthony Hopkins, and Sanjay Newton. I think those are the three standouts, and I love the ideas that this show is trying to explore with technology and humanity, and even when you try to play God. There's just so many compelling ideas always on display. Like, just the fact that you can control a robot's emotions on an iPad. And the more you raise it, the more human they become. And that idea is alone because you're controlling it based on the fact that they are a robot, but they're becoming more human because of that. Like, that's such a compelling idea. And it always does fascinate me when you've got the comparison between robots and humans, because humans are made up of skin and muscles and tissue and all that fun stuff, and robots are made up of fake skin and cords and all that kind of stuff, and there are definitely similarities. And I do really like that aspect in how the robots only become humanized after their skin is complete and they look human. After that, you view them as human. And I think that's just very interesting how they play around with all that stuff. How they can raise the intelligence on a robot. It just really makes you think about how we were made. Like how I'm moving my index finger up and down because my brain is telling it to. And how I'm as smart as I am only because I am that way. Like, it's just so weird to think about. And when you see that on display, but with humans doing that to robots, it's just fascinating stuff that really does compel me. That said, it's nothing brand new. We have seen these kinds of stories done plenty of times before, whether it's something like I, Robot or Blade Runner or many, many other stories, but they still go about it in a very unique way here. So that was the stuff I 100% love, that if I gave you a rating today, this show would still be a very good review. But there's other things that I'm a bit iffy on. Like I said, they keep a lot vague to you while you're watching it. It's not until later on in the series that you start to pick up on certain details. I don't think there's a lot to keep you emotionally engaged. It's not a show that connects with you on an emotional level, but more on a cerebral level. And there is way too many characters. Like, there's not a main character. I'm going to reference my favorite show again because I always seem to do that, Arcane. The first episode focuses on Vi and Powder. Those are clearly set up to be the main characters. And then in the second episode, they introduce all the other characters. And the reason why that's so great is that you know that this is Vi's and Powder's story. You know that. So in this show, I'm just like, okay, who is the main character? Who is the main one? Because it's jumping all over the place and you don't know what storylines are the most important and not. And I do wish that was a bit better. And I did find the Ed Harris, Evan Rachel Wood, and James Marsden plot to be pretty uninteresting for the most part. That said, that could definitely change on a rewatch. But for my first time watch, I'm just like, this is the stuff I don't care about. Go back to Sanji Newton in the lab. That was easily the most compelling stuff. And by the end, I understand what they're going for, and I can see everything coming together. But I didn't have that information that they give you at the end of this show at the beginning of it. So now I have to rewatch it to pick up on all the small clues and how they build things up. Like there's a reveal at the end of episode 7, I believe, and I could not believe that I didn't see it coming. Like looking back, it's very obvious, but I didn't see it coming. Same as actually the big reveal at the end of the season, because I'm just like, after the first or second episode, I'm like, oh, you know what? I bet you this is going to be the ending. And I was actually correct, but by the time I got to the ending, I forgot that I made that prediction. So yeah, like there's so many ambitious decisions they make, and I'm not sure how many of them work for me. I'm not sure how many of them save the stuff that I didn't care for me, because it's just a show that, like I said, I cannot review. I cannot give you my full thoughts on it. I watched it and I'm just like, okay, the last episode was great, but I feel like I have to rewatch the entire season to have a firm grasp on everything they were going for. So one day, not soon, because if I'm being honest, I have my whole release schedule set up for the next 2 years. So it's not going to be within the next 2 years, but I will one day give it a rewatch, give it a proper review, and then maybe watch Westworld season 2, 3, and 4. Maybe. Like, I haven't really heard the best of things. I actually heard that season 2, someone predicted the ending of, so they actually went back and changed it, which I just think is so pathetic. Like, yeah, but like there's definitely lots of great stuff on display. The performances, the music, the directing, the ideas they're going for. But in just the pure ambition of it and the focus on so many characters, I'm not sure if it completely works for me. My opinion could be much more positive on a rewatch, but for now, I would say I liked it, didn't love it. I'm not going to give this a rating. Like I said, I don't have clear thoughts on it right now. I need a rewatch. But if you're into ambitious storytelling, I do recommend you give it a try. So what did you think of Westworld Season 1? Do you think I'll like it better on a rewatch? Because I think I will, but I'm not entirely sure. Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.